The following is a presentation by the Atlantic Production Group, producing golf television since 1995. Today on Golf Destination, we visit the development of a new private course in Wells, Maine National Country Club. This course is designed by the architect team of Brad Faxon and Brad Booth, and we spoke with them about their design. Plus, we meet Bill LaMarche as he details what the experience will be like at Maine National Country Club. And we visit the venue where Maine National Country Club was first displayed, an art gallery featuring great golf art. All that and more, next. Welcome to Golf Destination. I'm Bill Jones. A new private golf course has not been developed in southern Maine for decades, but with the increasingly popular summer vacation destination of Wells and Kennebunk right next door, there was a need for a private course. Maine National Country Club and Estates hopes to fill that void.
What we're trying to do is recreate the concept of the grand old New England club, high-end private club where families, generations of families can come back year in, year out, renew old acquaintances and friendships and memories. Kids grow up here. We'll have all the amenities for families with children, and we hope that we can start this generational migration back here every summer where families look forward to being in a club where they're treated like royalty and where their families can renew these relationships that they've had from years past. And we'll have, the golf is the star of the show, but we'll have all the amenities that a full club of this type would need, and the swimming, the tennis, obviously a grand clubhouse with a deck overlooking the 18th green and pond. We'll have fishing, kayaking, summer youth programs, so it's a learning center as well. We'll offer a lot that no other club in New England really has. This is, I think, the first new private club in the southern Maine coast in over 100 years. And we've had a number of golf professionals up here, people in the business that have no horse in the race, that have seen the site and seen the plans and tell us that this truly could be, if not the best, one of the very best courses, golf courses in New England. Brad, of course, being a pro golfer, having played thousands of golf courses around the world, and Brad Booth has had a lot of success. Put those two together in their design and their creativeness, and then you look at the site that we have with the rolling hills, the forests, the different terrains, and the river running through the project with some great holes along the river and the dam and the waterfalls there. I mean, it's really, truly a unique site. So you put those two together and you've got something special. I think we really want to be the best run club in New England. With Southworth Development being our development partner, not only do they run a very high-end club where people are treated royally on a daily basis and really feel like they're in a special place, but we also have reciprocity to their other venues around the world, really. The quality of life in the southern Maine coast is really why we're putting this where we are. We've had tremendous feedback. We've had responses, membership requests, people that have inquired about the real estate. We have 80 home sites. So the whole project has been well received, both locally and on a national level. This is a club that will get a lot of national attention.
Thanks, Bill. The design team of Brad Faxon and Brad Booth are heading up the design of this 18-hole course. We spoke with them about their philosophy in terms of golf course design and what Maine National will look like when completed.
It's been great for us.
Yeah, I think if you go back into the history of golf course architects and go back to the golden age in the 20s, the famous architects back then didn't work solely. They were working with other guys and got opinions, and we're seeing a movement of that now. Right. Back to guys working together and pairings like a professional golfer with a professional architect, and both sides bring something together maybe the other side doesn't have that can really be a plus in a lot of different ways, not only in how the golf course looks, how it plays, the marketing end of it, you know, the expertise that Brad has being, say, a superintendent in his prior life, you know, so he knows what it's like to maintain a course where a lot of guys might not know, hey, what grass should we put down here? He can bring that to the table way better than I can.
When we have a golf course like this that we're birthing out, it's always an evolution. We're never complete. You know, from when we have planned that's permitted to actually construction, we're changing and trying to improve it, and so we're constantly in a dialogue about that kind of stuff. So what he brings to me is just amazing, you know, just stuff. Sends me pictures, Jay, Brad, you should see that, that's fabulous. The feel that we've talked about was trying to get that kind of traditional, older New England country club feel. You know, maybe a little rough around the edges, but one that wasn't simply carved, but was just evolved. And what's nice about this site, there's a lot of like ground folding and rolling and pitching, and there's different parallel elevations going on between holes and that kind of stuff that just add that real quality to the site.
It's a great variety.
It's just huge.
You can see where we are now is a pretty wide open space, and we've created a couple big holes in here. And all of a sudden, a couple holes later, you'll be, you know, in some trees, you'll have ravines, you'll have a totally different shape and character. And that's what's great about this site is the variety. It's something that every architect would walk out on this piece of land and say, man, this is really, really nice. The biggest compliment we can get is, boy, that looks like it belongs, it looks like it's been here for a long time, it looks like it fits.
Thanks, guys. Brad and Brad joins us again to discuss the par 5 13th hole at Maine National. Plus, Mark Edelman talks about his work with the design team as he shapes the course. Golf Destination is brought to you by Sovereign Bank, proud sponsor of the 2007 Sovereign Bank New England Open. The Links at Outlook in South Berwick, Maine. Golf in the Scottish tradition. Giant Glass. 1-800-54-GIANT. New England is Giant Country. Golfer's Warehouse. Your game just got better. Gosling's Rums of Bermuda. Widely unavailable since 1806. And GolfDestination.tv. Video online when you want it, where you want it. Welcome back. Mark Edelman of Agriscape has partnered with Faxon & Booth in the shaping and construction of Maine National. We recently spoke with him on the site.
We got involved with the project early on with Brad Booth and Brad Faxon, and they contacted us. They had a great piece of property in Wells, Maine, and I'm kind of passionate to Maine. It's a beautiful state, and the coastline here is incredibly pretty. And when we first walked the site, when it was treed, it was incredible. The topography and just the natural terrain was just an awesome site, so we were pretty excited about it. This past winter and summer we've stumped the property, and we're in the process now of grubbing the soil as far as removing all rocks and roots and things, and we're stripping the topsoil now. And during this process of stripping the topsoil, we maintain the original topography. And after this process, we'll go through with Brad Faxon and Brad Booth and my shapers. We walk through and just kind of get a feel for their philosophy on how the course is going to play, or the traditional design, or just what we're going to do, what the finished product may look like. Particularly on this site, we have a lot of beautiful mature trees. The landforms will continue into all the treed areas, so it really blends the whole site together. When we're finished here, it's going to look like the course was always here.
Thanks, Mark. Brad and Brad return now to give us the first look at the longest hole on the course, the par 5 13th at Maine National.
Number 13, par 5. It's our longest hole, actually.
How far is it?
625, 630 in the back tee. Actually starts back on the road, which there's no way you're going to be able to see from here.
But it would be in line with the roof of the house?
No, you see the one lone tree there? That's actually right behind the tee, just on the other side of the road.
Between the birch, is that a birch tree?
The birch tree is probably a good target if you're looking at it. First pivot point is this post, the blue post right here.
And that's 200 and
About 290.
290.
There. And then the second one, pivot point right here.
It's almost a double. It's a kind of a double dogleg. It's a dogleg left and back to a right.
Very slight. The most of the dogleg is right back in here, and this green that goes back in by all these large oaks and everything. Hobbs Pond, which is all nice, about a 30-acre mill pond created by the dam that was built in the early 1600s. It's an old area here, very old area.
You know, strategy-wise on this hole, it's going to be a sort of an open fairway. You don't see any trees here. It'll be one of those you can, you know, swing and then have to tie your shoelaces after you swing. You can fall down. You can hit it almost anywhere. But then, you know, if you hit a great shot, we're going to challenge your second shot. You know, the green's going to be stuck over here in the corner. If you're going to try and go at this green or get it close, we'll probably have a penal front right side there. So if you push it on the right side, your third shot's going to be tough. But if you play it safely down the left side, the green will open up that way. It'll reward you for playing it the right way. But you got to hit two good shots to hit it there too.
It's a long hole. It's going to be a hard hole, and we're actually kind of going southwest, which is a little bit into the prevailing wind as well. Aren't you glad I did that?
Thanks, guys. Brad and Brad return next to discuss the short but challenging par 4 14th hole and the dogleg right par 4 15th when Golf Destination continues. The topography is very diverse at the site of Maine National Country Club, and because of that, designers Brad Faxon and Brad Booth have the opportunity to create 18 very unique golf holes. Holes 14 and 15 are a great example of that uniqueness.
We're on the 14th hole. We like the idea of trying to create a drivable par 4. You know, we talked about a lot of the great courses have Riviera number 10 as a drivable par 4. That's probably one of the most famous ones we see on tour. There's legitimately a chance to get it on the green, make an eagle, or legitimately a chance to make a 5 or a 6. Right. It's a lost art, but we think the short par 4 is important. A lot of them seem better on the back 9. I don't know why. It's an exciting point. They're great. They were great for match play. And if you go back in history in golf started out as a game that you played as a match. You played it against an opponent. So it didn't really matter what you shot. It's did you win the hole or did you not? Kind of nice to be able to see the pin. You want to see what you're aiming at, but we don't think you necessarily have to see the bottom of the flag. If you notice where the tee box is going to be, it's down, you know, is it 10 feet lower than where we are now?
Yeah, but it's going to come up.
It's not going to come up a little bit. So
we're going to be about this elevation.
Yeah, we're going to be able to see the top of the pin, but you might not see the ground there. You know, you see the ridge there over the right, and it's going to move. We got some trees in the way. We haven't quite figured everything out yet. No,
but it'll probably be it'll be narrow front to back, kind of going away from you, like this, and it'll be a push-up green. If you recall, it's a flat area. They're going to be pushed up a little bit. Just beyond these trees on the left, you see where we have those pile of kind of debris and stump and everything. There's a considerable knoll that will be extending out so that it comes into the line of play here on the left. And then we obviously have this knoll on the right that you'll be actually hitting over. You know, it'll be a little finger fairway that comes around it or something like that. And we'll push that fairway edge with the kind of hillocky stuff that's coming off there. So you'll be able to see, you know, probably 2/3 of the flag or something.
You don't want to think that everybody's going to hit a driver all the time because it just is easier that way. You want to think, well, you got to make this guy think a little bit. If I want to make a par or a birdie, should I lay up? Should I go for it? What stage am I in the match? You know, is this a hole I have to make a birdie on? Do I have to make a 2? You know, if I just get it in play and I'm playing match play, then my opponent has the choice. You know,
that brings that variety of options. You know, that's a big deal.
You've just played the longest hole on the course, number 13 is the 630-yard par 5, and then we have a drivable hole, and then now you have a tough par 4. So all of a sudden you've got 3 very different holes back to back to back. And when you come up here, you know, we've given everybody a pretty generous landing area, but you've got to hit a good drive. You know, the tee shot's important because if you look into the green site, and you can tell by the post there with the green on the top, there's a big barranca, whatever you want to call this, gulch, barranca.
Gulch.
40, 50 feet, 60 feet wide, deep, you know, so hitting a good drive is important because if, you know, you're going to get it on this green, you got to be able to carry this. You know, this is going to be 25, 30 yards short of the green. So it's a great hole, and it's where we're going to have some fun with the green.
This is kind of a largest type green, and certainly I think we're going to allow an approach into the green if you're hitting in the right direction, but because it's a larger green, you can have a lot more fun and quirkiness and rolls and that kind of stuff going on, which we'll definitely do. You know, so just, you're just going to have some interesting putts. It's not just a matter I've arrived at the green and you know, two-putting out of here. This is a very natural hole.
Yeah, pretty natural. You know, it's a